So talk about the technology, because is there anything? So and it's obvious that technology is just going crazy right now.
Right.
Is there anything from the past that you like enjoy doing that now like technology took over? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to love working on a console, but it's kind of I can.
And the console's that big,
the big,
thing
yeah,
when you
the big
walk
desk,
in,
the big desk,
board
yeah, the big board. I have one in my studio.
Yeah.
It's an SSL 9000J, but back in the day, I would mix records and you would see the entire song out on the board. I have a 72 channel SSL at my studio, and I would use them all, you know, anywhere between 48 channels to up to 72. But like you could walk in the studio and you would see like kick channels, you know, there was a kick, there was a snare, there's vocals, there's effects. Like I love that. Well, now, guess what? Everybody's now in the box. What's in the box? It's working within the computer only. So I use Pro Tools to work. And so now basically the console is Pro Tools. So the multi-track and everything is inside the computer. So I'm basically only working out of 2 channels. And
now, I'm assuming it makes it faster though, right? Or no?
I mean, what it is, yes and no. Yes and no. Because when you're working on all analog, it's not just a console, but you're also, you know, there's like outboard gears that you're using. So then you're having to patch stuff in and, I'm going to use this and I'm going to use that. So yes, it's a little more time consuming as opposed to in Pro Tools, all you're doing is using emulations of those hardware gear that I have in the walls, but just pulling them up as a plugin and just saying like, I'm going to use this, you know, so it's like everything's at your fingertips.
Yeah.
So yes, it's faster. But the other thing is when you're working on a console and you do a mix per se, right? And then all of a sudden you're done with the mix, you're like, great, I'm going to print it. Well, guess what? If the artist decides in like 3 weeks, like, I recut some vocals, and I added this and I added that. Well, now in the past, you would have to recall everything back on the console. Well, that's not realistic because you can never really get the mix back the same every time. So now with being in the box, all you do is open up the session and everything is right there.
Oh, so that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a good
That is a
aspect.
good thing,
yeah.
but there's something about working like just that hands-on, like with your hands on the fader, you know, turning knobs and
exactly.
getting up out of the chair and, you know, working on like things. Like I love that aspect, you know. So
do you do that anymore or is it out of the back?
No, I do it. So I was just going to say, there are instances where I do work in a hybrid situation where I'll maybe subgroup some things. So I'm only using maybe about 8 to 12 channels on the board. And so I'm just subgrouping things like drums, keys, lead vocals, background vocals, like those kind of like groups. Mm-hmm. And I'm putting them all through the board. And then I might run some things out to the outboard gear and then print it back into Pro Tools. You know, like it's just some things that I do as engineering stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can get all geeky and stuff. But there are times, but you know, you realize technology has kind of helped you save some time. It's like, oh, well, you know. What else?
And I would say, is there anything technology-wise from a, like, you know, vocally, like, is it, do you find it to be, like, it's taking over some of the talent, like, when it comes to singing and...
Well, everybody knows what's taking over the talent. It's been around for a long
time.
While. Yeah.
But is it kind of like, are you ever in a session going like, wow, like, you know, in your head, you're like, wow, this, I'm gonna have to like really fix this.
Yes. I was just in one the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, people really lean on the tune to be an artist now. I know artists that sing amazing and still use tune, but it's not like they're using it. They're more just using it to just, to be honest, maybe they're just a little lazy and don't want to perfect it. But I'm not mad at those artists. I'm mad at the artists that like really just can't
sing.
And they're just like, they're put it on all the way high. And I'm like, oh God, now you sound so computerized and just sound so weird. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know. It's, you know, there's technology out there. And I mean, obviously the new thing, AI, that's where people are really cheating because they're just able to like input a sound that they like. They can, I want a funk type artist to sound like Aretha Franklin, and then all of a sudden like this voice comes out.
Oh my god!
And it's not Aretha, but it's a you know.
Right.
So obviously the future, I think we're gonna see a lot of digitized artists.
Yeah.
Like almost like the Gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the
Yeah,
Gorillas?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you never saw them.
Right.
You know, they would all be like cartoon. I think there's gonna be a lot of that, like where we're gonna really see a bunch of artificial intelligence.
And
artists.
as a music lover, because I'm one of those
yes,
too.
I know.
It's
gonna drive you nuts.
Well, let me ask you this though, like, because I hear different opinions on this. So you know how like our generation is like, you know, the '90s were like the best ever. Like comparing today's music and where it's going to back in, you know, our day or whatever you want to say at our peak, and and even like old school. Like I've gotten into going back and listening to a lot of like blues and old school music.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you see it? Like, where do you see music today? I know that's a broad question, but it's
like, I mean, music today is very uninspiring. I'm not all of it,
right?
But a lot of it. Like it's like there's still some artists out there that are really doing great music, you know, and credits to them, like artists like, you know, obviously like a Bruno Mars to me still does great music. Teddy Swims, which is like my newest love of a artist that, you know, he's just so talented, and you know it's just like that pure raw talent, you know. But there's just so much like crap out there, you know, and the thing is, record labels don't even care. They don't care because the crap, if it's gonna, you know, for them it's a numbers game. Mm-hmm. So if the algorithm is showing that it works, they're gonna sign it. They're gonna back it up. They're gonna. And it's screwing with the integrity of music, of what is considered to be good music to even be released.
Right.
You know, streaming services came into play, which there's positive and negatives to it. I'm not like, listen, I love a streaming service. Like I do. Like I like the playlists. I like those kind of things. But I get it. Like, you know, it's just the amount of music that is just being put out on a daily. Whether it's a big DSP, you know, streaming service, or it's like SoundCloud, it's just too much. It's like you cannot consume it. So what's happening too? You get artists that are doing these great masterpieces of music, but nobody can consume them for more than 5 seconds because they're on to the next. You know, unless you're like people like us, right? When we said the '90s or whatever, we really appreciate music, right? So when we hear records that really feel good to us, we're gonna give it the time of day. We're gonna give it the plays. We're gonna like
did you listen to the Marcus King?
I didn't, not yet. I knew you were gonna ask me, but not yet.
So I've been like, and I swear it's like sometimes I feel like my parents, because it's like, you know, I loved rap and hip hop, but like lately, I mean, for the last probably like 3 or 4 years, it's been more country and like alternative and even like bluegrass, like just off like totally different, you know, genres. And so Zach Bryan is like my favorite right now. But I came across Marcus King. Yeah. And his new album, like it's been just on repeat. And to your point, like I'm taking the time to listen to the totality of the album. Exactly. Not like, oh, I like this song. This, right. And then switch around or even like, oh, I like this part. Right. No, I'm listening from start to finish the album. Exactly. Paying attention to the writing, to the words, to the melodies, to the like everything. You know?
There's no better thank yous to an artist for that. If you can like listen, like that's what they want. They don't want you to skip over their album and you only listened to 3, didn't hit you, so you moved on. Yeah. And that's what it is. And that's what a lot of artists, I mean, if you see, not so much like the legacy artists, but like a lot of artists, they only put out like a 5-6 song EP because they know people are not consuming the music like that. So they don't want to put in the time. So, you know, like I hate to see it, but, you know, there's still artists out there that are being able to grasp the consumer's ear to say, you know what, that's an amazing artist. And the testament is when they go on the road.
I was about to say, it's live. It's like live, when they're live.
And they're sold out. Yep. Like I'm actually trying to get into a Teddy Swim show. I can't get it. They're all sold out.
Yeah, no, he's ridiculous.
He's so ridiculous. And I'm like, gosh, I really want this.
Like, it was funny because Bet on Fire, is that the strip is it that the name of the song, Bet on Fire?
From Teddy Swims?
Yeah. I think so, right? Oscar, check that out. Anyways, that song, it's a hilarious song.
I think you're right. Yeah,
because it's like a breakup song, but it's unbelievable. Like, and the strip version is just crazy. It's Bed on Fire. So it was funny because I got one of my good friends, Dustin, on the song. His girlfriend kept being like, do we have to listen to this song? You know what I mean? Because it's like, and then I had another Either Way by Chris Stapleton.
Oh, there's another artist.
It's probably one of the greatest vocally songs like ever. Like it's I mean, also he's got several. So, but that one is just incredible, but it's a breakup song too. So it's like, but it's good music is good music. And sometimes the music that has to do with, breakups or low moments is sometimes the best music because there's so much soul to it.
Listen, if something can, the problem is I feel like today is people don't even know how to feel anymore because there's so many things coming at them at once. People are just like, they don't even know.
Yep.
Should I be sad? Should I be mad? Like they don't even know. So
it's because they're staring at a screen.
They're staring at a screen, so that they're. You can't even, like some people like I do a Pilates class, right? It's like solid core, and one of the things that I love at the beginning and the end of the classes is that the instructors will say, like, look to your left, look to your right, and say hi to your neighbor, introduce yourself, and at the end of the class, say look to your left, look to your right, like tell your neighbor, high five them, say good job. Sometimes like I'm quick to like look. These people are like looking down, like they don't even want to high five, and I'm like, you're so weird, The problem is people don't even know how to be personal anymore. So when music can really just cut through to your heart and pull on those heartstrings, I want that.
Right.
I want that. Like I want to be an emotional person.
Yeah.
Because we're meant to be emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, like we're not gonna fall off the deep end, but like we're supposed to be happy. Yep. We're supposed to feel pain.
Well, music's supposed to move you.
It's supposed to move you. Yeah. Like that's the music that I want to hear. But I'm with you. Like I love hip hop, I love rap, but in that world, come on, there's nothing coming out that's like really like.
Well, and the problem that I see in the hip hop world is that they stopped telling stories.
Right.
Like that's why we loved hip hop is they told their story.
Yeah.
Like and sometimes it was crazy stories, but it was a story.
It was a story.
Like and then you could like their albums. Remember there were skits and like it just made sense. Like you could listen to a whole album and it like made sense.
Right.
Like now it's like they're just trying to, like you said, hit a TikTok video to go. It's an algorithm. It's like something to go viral.
Exactly.
Or whatever. So
it makes my skin crawl when people want to there was a record recently that I can't even remember, but I was telling my boyfriend, I was like telling him like, because he liked the song. That's what it was. Actually, I'm not even gonna say the artist, but we were like driving along and the song came on and it was like a pop record, but it was like an R&B pop record. And so I moved on. I'm like, and he's like, why'd you switch it? I like that song. And I'm like, because I don't like it because I know it was written with the intention to be a hit. Like it has all like because
there's a
formula
to it.
And I feel and I hear it and it drives me nuts. The beat is cool, but I don't want to hear it because the song is cool. I mean, like the messaging, but I know what it was made for. So therefore I can't connect with it. Like I don't want to connect with it. It has like I'm repulsed by it.
Yeah.
And so like.
So who that's not around today, if you could hear them live today, would you want to hear?
Oh, that's a great question. Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, yeah.
Talk about moving.
My gosh.
She would be incredible. And also like do it in like a hole in the wall bar.
I mean, that's the only way. I don't want to see her at the American Airlines Arena.
No, exactly.
No.
You got to see her in a rusty old bar in London or something. Yeah,
exactly. Like a little pub.
Right, That's exactly. Yeah. That's one of my, like dreams or whatever is I want to see Chris Stapleton in that environment.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he'll ever do that again, but that would be so cool.
I think someone like him would.
Yeah.
I got to actually see Prince that way in LA.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was, Prince would always do these like crazy impromptu shows out of nowhere, and like a text message would go off in your phone, and it's like tonight at the Sayers Club. Like that's where he did it in LA. It was Sayers Club. And, you know, be there at 11 o'clock or whatever.
And
so,
the guitar, the whole nine. Like,
yeah, it was just so I didn't know what to expect.
He's the sickest guitarist.
Yeah, so
ever.
I didn't know what to expect. So, and Danger can tell you this story too, because it was the funniest thing. So, like crazy, like we show up to the Sayers, a bunch of people that we know from the business is in there. We're like, oh, what's up? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, you know, LA shuts down like at 2,
right,
you know?
Yeah.
So we're like, man, like, where's Britt? Everybody at this point has had a lot to drink. And I'm sitting on the couch, like, kind of at this point, I'm like, man, like, I don't think he's coming on tonight because it's already like 1 o'clock or almost 1. And all of a sudden, like, I see somebody come out on the stage. Like, it looked like a tech. It looked like a guitar tech. And it, like, he just starts, like, fiddling with the guitar, like, ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, but I didn't pay really no mind. Like, I saw it, but I didn't, like, think it was Prince. So I was just like, okay. Because I thought, like, when he would come out, it'd be, like, this big, grand, like, dearly beloved, you know, right. Like, it was gonna be this moment.
Right.
So all of a sudden Nate was like, is that Prince? And I look, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's Prince. And he's just, like, tuning his guitar, and then he gets on the mic, and he's like, he just starts playing, and everybody's like, oh, shoot. Nobody was ready for the guy. The guy plays for an hour and 10 minutes and does the most phenomenal show ever.
Wow.
And then walks off the stage and leaves.
I just recently got invited to a party, and this was probably about a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. And Pink Sweats performed on the spot, like just a guitar, and then he started asking questions. There was like 50 of us there.
Wow.
And he started asking questions, and then he freestyled songs based off of our answers.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was like ridiculous.
Yo, he's so dope.
And he's so
dope.
cold. Like he was just, talk about like authentic and smart too. Like I love his branding.
Right.
Like just what a genius.
Yeah, no.
You know, just, you know what I mean? That's like very intelligent stuff.
And that's the thing. See, someone like him, he's very much about the craft. So
right.
he's not so much trying to chase, you know, whatever it is that's going out there. He's going to make great music. And there's something to that, because when he does tour, he's going to have a loyal following for life, you know? I love him.
Yeah, he's really, who else now, like who's out now that, like in that world, in that hip hop world, that you feel like is
this is where I get stuck, because this is like, who is out there?
I know.
And it's like, who else is out there?
It's tough. In that world, it's tough. Like I could go off on like the other, you know, genres and stuff. There's a lot of incredible artists that people are not listening to, because the songs are like 6 minutes and 7 minutes. Like, God forbid you listen to a 6 minute song.
Sorry, hip hop. I can do better, and I can have an answer.
And then who's your all time favorite back in the day?
In what genre?
Let's say rap. Well, you said Jay-Z. Is it your favorite?
Jay-Z, yeah. Group wise, would have probably been Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved everything Wu-Tang. Man, I was throwing up that woo. Singer, Whitney Houston. I was a big Whitney Houston fan. I'm Your Baby Tonight was the first album I ever bought as a kid. Yeah. You know, like, I didn't buy my parents gifted it to me because I had straight A's. And they asked me, like, what do you want? I was like, Whitney Houston. And so, yeah, I was a big Whitney fan. Like, I love vocalists, you know. I mean, even I remember Mariah Carey's Visions of Love. What a classic album. Right. You know, but she'll never perform any of those records, so that's a graveyard album for her.
I mean, they stand out.
They stand out to me because I just remember like that CD. It was literally one of the first CDs. Mm-hmm. Whitney Houston's I'm Your Baby Tonight and Madonna's Like a Prayer albums were the first albums that I like.
What do you think about Madonna still touring and stuff? It's a little weird, right?
I love you, Madonna, but sit down.
I mean, we love her to death, but it's like you gotta just stop. It looks freaky.
I mean, I'm just.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I guess if you got it, you got it. But I don't know. Do you got it still? Like, I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot on the eyes for me. I mean, like I'm.
But to each his own.
Yeah, to each his own. Power to you.
I mean, who are we to tell Madonna what to do?
Listen, no, you can't. Are you kidding me?